Hi there, and thanks very much for joining me. I'm Dean and this is Woodwork Journey. So if you've been sent this video, odds are then somebody is trying to nudge you in the right direction for a Christmas present or birthday present or something along those lines. And so what I've got is a bunch of different gifts for woodworkers that are they're all cheap. I think everything's under 20 quid. And they're all consumables or things that woodworkers can generally never have enough of. So hopefully this will help. So if someone sends you this link and gives you a number like number 1 or 3 or 6 or 12 or whatever, then that's what they'd really like you to get them for Christmas. And I have got links and everything down in the description. They are affiliate links, doesn't cost you any more, but it does help the channel. And if you'd like to use them, brilliant. If you wouldn't, fine too. So let's get on with it, shall we? We want to keep this nice and quick. First off, we have F-clamps. These blue handle F-clamps are some ones that I recently bought from Amazon. And let me just make this clear. These aren't hardcore, super quality Bessie clamps, but they're cheap. And any woodworker can never have too many clamps. And so with something like this is a set of 4 and it costs exactly £23. Now I've just glued up a piece of wood for this with these, and it's done a marvelous job. So no problems there. And this is also 600mm long. So for 4 for 23 quid, I thought was pretty damn good. Now you can actually get a full set of 12, but that's just under 40 quid. I'll leave the links down below for that as well. But yeah, this, even if they don't last forever, will get you out of a sticky situation and are cheap. Number 2 is glue. You can never have too much glue either. I personally use Titebond 2. Take that with a pinch of salt. I just use it because I see lots of other people using it, but it doesn't seem to be causing me any problems. It's done a grand job. Even though I've been working outside in a really cold workshop, it seems to have been doing a grand job. So Titebond 2 is the one that I would go for if you've got projects that don't need waterproofing. If you need to have some level of waterproofing, Titebond 3 is the way forward. But I'll leave a link to the Titebond 2 down below. Okay, number 3 is the glue bot. So we just talked about the Titebond, and it's always nice to have something that you can empty that into, which makes gluing up easier. Now this is again something that I purchased because I saw lots of YouTubers using it, and honestly I'm pleased that I did. This is 17 quid, and you can get a variety of prices on Amazon dependent on what kind of extras you want with it and all that sort of stuff. The main advantage to this is, first of all, you don't have to worry about undoing and doing up one of these lids all the time, which makes life a little bit easier. But also, the way this works, it's a kind of a U shape, so you can actually squirt this so it comes out vertically, and it doesn't matter the orientation of the bottle, and it's just really easy to get the glue where you want it to go. So when it comes to glue containers, this glue bot seems to do a grand job. And again, link down below. Now, the Americans love their CA glue, and so do we in the UK. So when it comes to some cheap, affordable super glue type stuff, this is what I found on Amazon, and I think this does a grand job. It comes through at £6.29 for both the glue and the activator, and so it just means that if you're gluing up something that you don't want to put pin nails into or anything like that, you can put a few dabs of this in there while the main glue is drying. This will help keep things straight, and it just is an easy way of gluing stuff up. And also if you're making jigs and all that sort of stuff, then having some of this in your back pocket is a good idea. And £6.29 for the pair of them I thought was pretty good. I've not had any problems with this glue, so Mitre Fast is my next option. Pull saws. Pull saws make life a lot easier in my opinion. Now mine is called a Hachimon pull sword, and this is, I think it's a 200mm long blade. You've got a rip cut available at the top and a cross cut available at the bottom, and it's done a grand job. It really has. This cost me, how much did it cost me? This cost me £17.80. I'll leave a link for this down below. But also another quality make is Suzanne, flush cut pull saw. Cheapest I think I saw on there was 20 quid. So again, a link for that will be down below. But again, this is another one of those tools that you can never have too many of, and does a grand job for flush cutting, cross cutting, and I use this for pretty much everything instead of using a normal Western saw. Next up is a tape measure. Now this is one of those sort of things that you can lose all the time, so it's worth having a few extra, particularly if they are cheap. Now these ones come in at £3.82 each, I believe, and these are both in imperial and metric, or metric, and super cheap. I bought a couple of these, and they're accurate, they do what they should do, and they're not too long. They're 5 meters, so it means they're not too heavy or massive to put in your pocket, and you're not going to be needing a sort of a 20-meter long tape measure if you only use, you know, a meter of it for the majority of the time. But this is one of the cheapest, most accurate ones that I could find. It's got the little 2 gadget thingy going on in the measure as well, so hopefully that shows that it should be pretty accurate. I've had no problems with it, and you should always use the same tape measure for each project, and yeah, these little ox ones have done a fantastic job. All right then, so for number 8, we are looking at drill bits. Now, drill bits, super dull, not very exciting. And in fact, these drill bits are not the sharpest. But the reason I'm putting these up is because these are all little tiny affairs. These go from 1mm to 3mm, I believe. 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and 3, I think, something like that. And these are great for making pilot holes. Now, this pack was a whole bunch of them and came out at £5.99. So £5.99 gets you a whole bunch of drill bits. Again, not the best, but they are things that you tend to go through because these little ones are very easy to break when you're cutting pilot holes or making pilot holes. And I certainly go through a few of them, but then again, I'm also very clumsy. But if that's something that you think you need, worth getting a bunch of extras. All right, something I can't show you because it's actually attached to my my saw bench right here is I found some locking casters that are 250 kilos a piece, I believe, or they don't weigh that much. That's how much they'll take, and they're locking. You're in set of 4. You get 2 locking and 2 not locking ones, and they're a tenner. So I put 2 sets on my table saw cabinet, and they do a grand job, especially because I try and do everything so it's move aroundable, portable in the shop, just because that way it makes life a little bit easier if I need to get stuff out. Like I've got to move this out shortly to sort out all of the dust collection, so those casters are really going to save me a lot of aggro. Next, you might just see up on the wall over there that we have actually got some Thandle Allen keys, and these just make life a lot easier. If you have them, brilliant. If you don't have them, they will definitely make life considerably easier than having just the normal little Allen keys in your toolbox. These ones cost a tenner. They're silver line, so again, not the best quality, but they are something that will do the trick, do it cheaply, and come with a fancy little stand that you can mount on the wall to give you easy access. They go from 2mm to 10mm and a bunch of increments in between, and for the price, I think it was £10.70. Do forgive me, but yeah, for that money I think they're a bargain. I wouldn't try and, you know, unlock the planet with them, but for general use they seem to do a fine job for me. Next up is a chisel. So this one's coming in at number 11, and this isn't just any old chisel. This is a Mortising chisel. I think this is a number 12, and these come through very cheaply. You can buy these from Narex on Amazon, and the 5mm one comes in at £16.57, and then they go up in sizes and they stay a very reasonable price indeed. Now when I made my workbench, I mortised out cut a bunch of holes in this for the legs, for the mortise and tenon joints, and it would have been an absolute nightmare without this particular chisel. I thought I would give it a go because it was cheap, and I'm very pleased that I did. So if you're looking for a mortising chisel, then something like this will make your life a lot easier than using just one of your regular old chisels, especially if you're trying to go through thick wood. So go for a mortising chisel by Narex. Number 12 at $16.99 comes in a digital angle finder. Now again, one of these little puppies is so useful. It's just something that makes your life very, very easy, and this does what it says on the tin for me. It measures pretty much everything I throw at it. Is it 100% accurate? I don't know. I've seen some comments on Amazon about it kind of knocking out of the measurement that you put on it and what have you, but for this one I certainly haven't had that problem. I've even this is how I kind of try and get to the 0.1 of a degree difference just by giving it a tap, and it's quite a strong little unit. So for the money, and coming in at number 12, this £16.99 digital angle finder does a grand job. Coming in at number 13 is impact driver extensions. Now here we've got a little short one and we've got a nice big long one. Who misses? But the reason that I think these are absolutely invaluable is because it helps you get into a whole bunch of places that you might not necessarily get into with a stubby little impact driver. And so something like these really, really becomes super useful in the shop. Once again, these are things that can get easily lost. And for the pair of these, it's £7.49. And I think that's well worth the money. I think it's £7.49. Yes, £7.49. And for that, I think that is well worth the money. I don't know what, can't remember what the make of them is, but I've not broken them yet, and I break most things. Coming in at number 14, I believe. There we go, 14. I'll put numbers up when I'm doing the editing. Is a doweling jig. This is the Wolfcraft doweling jig. I saw it from one of Peter Millard's videos on 10-Minute Workshop, and I'm no doweling expert, but again, when I was putting my workbench together, I needed to dowel some bits and bobs, and this did a grand job. Are there other ways of doing it? Sure. But is this going to help you be accurate? Sure. And as I say, it certainly helps me. It allows you to do 3 different sizes of 8 or 6, 8 and 10 mil. And then I've just bought some extra dowels off Amazon. But just to be able to get things together reasonably stably, you've got measurement thingamajigs, you've got stuff to make it easier, you can find the center of it nice and easily. This is just super useful to have in the workshop, and for the price of a cheeky little £18.81 currently, then I think that's not too shabby. So that's worth a look, and it feels nice and solid in the hand. Yes, it's plastic, but it still feels pretty good and like it's going to last for a while. Okay, coming in at finishes then. Again, a couple more things that you can never have too many of, and this is something that I do like a lot. It's the wood Danish oil, and this is from Furniture Clinic, and this comes through at £8.95. This is only a 250ml bottle of it, but if you're not doing anything massive with it, then that's pretty good. But even having said that, I have covered some reasonably large bits of furniture with this, and I've still got a little dribbly poos left in the bottom. So this is a great finish to be able to put on a bunch of different things, particularly if you're looking for something that is going to give it a bit of extra protection. However, if you don't need that extra protection, then another one is boiled linseed oil. So again, something that's super easy to use, can last a lifetime, and this one is coming in at £8.18, but this time for 500ml. So if you have these two in your workshop, you've always got a couple of go-tos that you can flick back to if it's needed, and they'll certainly get you out of a jam. But more importantly, they're some of the cheaper ones that I've found on Amazon, as is the rest of this list. So if this list was useful for you because you either managed to encourage somebody that you know to get you a Christmas present, or you've now got an idea for someone's Christmas present or birthday present or whatever, then please leave a like and comment down below. And if you wouldn't mind, that'd be great if you'd subscribe to the channel. The next videos are the beginner projects for sales. So how I'm going to go about designing, creating and selling a product. So there's going to be a number of videos in that series. If you're interested in that idea, then please do feel free to subscribe, and I'd much appreciate it. Thanks very much. Hope this was helpful, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. Cheers.